Project work and group work in the classroom. What is the project as a method of teaching? The project method of teaching is an experience-based strategy based on a real-world situation. The goal of this teaching technique is to socialize a child to accomplish cognitive, emotional, and psychomotor goals. The principles that underpin this teaching strategy are as follows. The utility principle. Choose tasks that are more closely related to social life. The preparedness principle. Involve the students in problem-solving process by requiring active participation. Doing is the best way to learn. The learner completes tasks and encounters new experiences. This expands his knowledge and leads to learning. Socialization. It fosters a sense of cooperation and group work. A multidisciplinary approach is used. Types of project method of teaching. A project is a wholeheartedly purposeful activity that takes place in social setting. The project method can be divided into 4 categories. Constructive, when learners have to construct some things related to social life, e.g. charts, models, maps, parcels, etc. Artistic, these projects are generally alluded in the aesthetic fields of life, e.g. in music, drawing, painting art, and culture. Problem solving, these projects are given to solve the problems related to any life situation or related to any subject, e.g. how to cooperate bank accounts or how to send an email or letter. These general problems, if solved, will make a child efficient for life. Group work. A team of students is assigned work to be performed, e.g. to develop a garden in the school. There are 4 basic elements of this teaching strategy that make it purposeful. Spontaneously, purpose, significance, and interest or motivation. What is group work in classroom? Group work is exactly what it sounds like. Students work in groups to complete assessments and projects. The goal of group work is to prepare students for the collaborative skills required in the professional world. Individual work is divided into parts and steps that students work through together. A collaborative learning environment in which students work together to solve problems and complete assessments is referred to as group work. Students can delegate roles and responsibilities, pool their knowledge and skills, and receive support from one another. How to prepare students for teamwork. In order to respect people's difference and create an inclusive environment, insist on professional, civil behavior between and among students. Discuss with students their previous group work experiences and allow them to establish some ground rules for successful collaboration. Using note cards, this discussion can be conducted in an anonymous manner. Advantages of project work in the classroom. Project work is an efficient teaching method that provides numerous benefits to students ranging from critical thinking to project management to self-confidence. Students have shown that project work and teamwork is linked significant improvements in student test scores, attendance, and classroom engagement. It also gives teachers the opportunity to build stronger relationships with their students by acting as their hands-on learning facilitator. In essence, teamwork is an instructional method where students collaborate with others and learn by doing. The same skills learned through projects and group work are also many of the skills sought by employers. Check out 10 benefits of project-based learning and how it can better prepare our kids with life skills that set them up for future success. Collaboration. Relationships formed during collaboration is a huge part of PBL. Not only do students learn how to work better in groups, providing their own input, listening to others, and resolving conflicts when they arise, they build positive relationships with teachers, which reinforces how great learning is. Students also form relationships with community members when working on projects, gaining insight for career and beyond. Problem solving. Students learn how to solve problems that are important to them, including real community issues, more efficiently. even learning from failure and possibly starting over. Creativity. Students apply creative thinking skills to innovate new product designs and possibilities for projects. In-depth understanding. Students build on their research skills and deepen their learning applied content beyond facts or memorization. Self-confidence. Students find their voice and learn to take pride in their work, boosting their agency and purpose. Critical thinking. Students learn to look at problems with critical thinking lens, asking questions and coming up with possible solutions for their project. Perseverance. When working on a project, students learn to manage obstacles more efficiently, often learning from failure and making adjustments until they are satisfied with their work. Project management. Students learn how to manage projects and assignments more efficiently. Curiosity. Students get to explore their curiosities, ask questions, and form a new love for learning. Empowerment. Students take ownership of their projects, reflecting on and celebrating their progress and abilities. How to design the group and project activities. Identify the instructional objectives. Determine your goals for the small group activity, both academical and socially. The activity should relate closely to the course objectives and class content and must be designed to help students learn, not simply to occupy their time. For group learning to be effective, students need a clear sense that group work is serving the stated learning goals and disciplinary thinking goals of the course. When deciding whether or not to use group work for a specific task, consider these questions. What is the objective of the activity? How will that objective will be furthered by asking students to work in groups? Is the activity challenging or complex enough that it requires group work? Make the task challenging. Consider assigning a relatively simple task early in the semester to pique students' interest in group projects and encourage their process. Collaborative exercises should, in most cases, be stimulating and challenging. Groups of students can create a more sophisticated product than they could individually by pooling their resources and dealing with disagreements. Assign group tasks that encourage involvement, interdependence, and a fair vision of labor. Every member of the group should feel a sense of personal responsibility and realize that the success of the team depends on its individual success. This is called positive interdependence by Johnson, Johnson and Smith. That this kind of cooperative learning tends to promote each other's success. You are a powerful motivator for the group work, knowing that people depending on you. Associate essential resources across the group so that the group members are required to share information. Alternatively, choose one person at random to speak for the group or assign different roles to group members so that everyone is involved in the process. Another strategy for promoting interdependence is specifying common rewards for the group, such as a group mark. Decide on group size. The size you select will be determined by the number of students, the size of the classroom, the variant of voices required within a group, and the task at hand. Groups of 4 to 5 people tend to strike a balance between the needs of diversity, productivity, active participation, and cohesion. Decide how you will divide students into groups. Division based on proximity or student preference is the quickest, especially in large and cramped classes, but it frequently results in students working together with friends or with the same people. Diversity within a group is especially important for some group tasks, and you may want to assign students to groups yourself before class. Allow sufficient time for the group work. Recognize that you will not be able to cover as much material as if you lectured for the entire class period. Reduce the amount of content you want to present in order to give groups enough time to work. Estimate how long it will take subgroups to complete the activity. Plan a plenary session in which groups will present their findings. Results can be presented or general issues and questions can be discussed. Try to predict students' answers. You can plan for the unexpected, but by anticipating what students will say, you will be better prepared to answer their questions and tie the group work together during the plenary session. Design collaborative work in multiple forms. Pairs, small groups, large groups, online synchronously, online asynchronously, etc. Some students may be better at contributing after having had time to digest material, whereas others may be better at thinking on the fly. In large groups, other students will defer to others, but in pairs, they will actively contribute. All roles should be recognized and valued.